That's what we do.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikisha for the KBS show. Welcome back to another exciting
Turn her up a
episode of the
little.
Night Brothers show. On behalf of all the hosts, including Arden, Equavian, and Lenny, we are honored to receive the Black History Award from the Anne Arundel County and the Caucus of African American Leaders of Annapolis. We humbly accept a few of the many best to bring quality podcasting and show programming for all our viewers. Thanks again for our loyal audience who have helped us achieve this honor. Now get ready for another hot show.
Thank you, Nikisha. And praise God, because we had some technical issues tonight.
Yes, we
What?
did.
What?
What?
Yeah!
That's
Oh
why
my
we
goodness.
15 minutes late.
We need Little John
Yeah,
tonight.
baby. Yeah.
We need Little John tonight. Shout out to Cheryl D. Queen. Thank y'all for being the best audience on the internet and persevering and through our struggles. And welcome to another Night Brothers show with a very special guest. Q, why don't you shout out some of the comments as they come up?
Hey, welcome, Queen. Welcome, Pam. How you doing, Pam? Good to see you. Good to have you with us tonight.
Microphone Q. Microphone Q.
Yes. Welcome, Cheryl. Welcome you. Good to see you. Welcome to see you, Pam Adams. Good to see you with us tonight. We're glad to have everybody on board with us. No matter what. Having some few technical issues tonight, but we're gonna go on. There's my girl Ren. How you doing, Ren?
Hey, Rand.
Margaret Nick, number one.
Number one stunner, Margaret Nick.
Kim Adams Harris. How you doing, Kim?
Hey, Kim. Welcome back.
All right. Got Linda Tongue in the building tonight. Thank you, Linda, for joining us. One of our favorites, Emma Thomas Watkins, Q.
Yes,
Your girl Arden, Vonda on tonight, Arden.
Vaughn is on. Word is born.
No doubt. Shout out to her. Pierre, welcome back, brother. How you been?
My brother.
Man, I'm getting there. Glad to be back. I miss
Good
you.
to have you together.
All right. Well, look, we're gonna because we were delayed. We're gonna just keep things moving and rock right through this so we can get to our special guest. All right, brothers.
Yes,
Definitely.
sir.
Let's do that. We got a special one for us tonight, but you know where you are right now. This is the Night Brothers. And we are so happy you're here with us. And you know where this is, right? This is where healthy is the new sexy. And we're going to bring some people up to help you get more sexy. For show sexy. You know it. And just moving right along, we want to all everybody to the call, and we really appreciate you joining in with the chat. Just type in comments, concerns, anything that you may want to add to the show. This is where you pump it in, and we'll show you right on the screen. We put things in the mat, in the place. And Margaret Nick, welcome back, Pierre. And Emma, welcome back, Pierre, man. Definitely give a one out there, for getting back on the scene. The gangster lean. Appreciate you. And your presence.
Brother Wallace, thank you. Brother Wallace checking in, Arden.
Yes, and peace and
It's
love,
good to see you
brother.
earlier tonight, Norman. Good to see you.
And just want to thank all that helped us with the Cash App donation. If you want to assist the show, please Cash App Kenny Dizzle 1113, and you can shoot that right into it. And we appreciate all those that is, such as Mimi Lee, Cheryl Queen, Pam, Williams, Armand Wallace, and many others. We appreciate you. And God bless you. And we are here for forever. Let's keep it popping, baby. Q, help us out, brother.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to keep it short and concise as possible. Nice to have you. First for tonight, we're going to talk about the halftime show review from the Super Bowl. We're talking about the Usher spectacle, just outstanding. Talk about that. Following that, we're going to have at drink number 2, which is probably really going to be tasty for some of you guys. Special guest, none other than Mr. Ronnie Adams, the founder of Pro-Fit Mobile Training and a former Mr. Maryland. Back to you, Lenny. Keep it moving.
Q, if you can, just as a reminder, if you can talk directly into your mic, that would be great. All right?
Yes.
Hey,
all right.
Real quick, if you want muscles like this right here that you see on the screen around, we're going to let you know how to get those right there.
Them some guns right there. Certified guns. Pierre can attest.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's keep this moving. Let's welcome brother to the show.
Hey, there's Barry Arms. Give him a hand.
There he is.
What's up, my guy?
My man.
What's going on, Ron?
Now the thing,
Most
my man,
people
staying
already
busy.
know Ronnie Adams just now. How you feeling, brother?
Let's talk one at a time, please.
Glad to hear that,
My man.
brother. Definitely. It's a pleasure to
It's been
have
a minute
you
since
here.
I seen you, bro.
What's that?
It's been a minute since I seen you, like a long time.
Oh yeah, it's been some years.
Good to see you, bro. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely glad to be here.
Well,
How are you guys doing?
doing great.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all coming back. We're glad to be back, and looking forward to my brother here. We used to train back in the day.
Yeah, I know y'all got some war stories, Pierre. I'm really interested to hear them, and so we're gonna dive all into that. But look, I want everybody to know who Ron is. So let me throw something up on the screen so that you guys can get familiar with who Ron is and what he's done. As the bio says, in a short and sweet, he spent his 30 years plus as a nationally certified personal trainer, working with high-impact CEOs, senior executives, and very busy entrepreneurs. He has also competed in numerous bodybuilding competitions, and Pierre, you can attest to that. Some locally, some regionally, and some even nationally. And he has earned an esteemed honor as Mr. Maryland during one of those competitions, which is not an easy feat at all. Shout outs to you, Ron. And currently, he is the founder and owner, and a big shout out for doing that, because I know about owning and founding things, man. It's difficult to own a business. My God, every day. A Pro-Fit Mobile. We're going to dive all up into that and talk about that. Ron, I thought what we do is we jump over to the website, and maybe you can just kind of, as you welcoming people, talk a little bit about Pro-Fit and tell me where to go here on the website. How about that?
Yeah, I think it's good. As you're going, you can scroll through from page to page, but Pro-Fit pretty much was founded on helping busy CEOs try to recap. Typically, what we would find is that CEOs I was working with had traded their health for profit. So they got to the point where they start building the business, their personal health and fitness on hold, and then they realized that was the impact that they wanted to make. They had to circle and become healthier again. They were dealing with health issues, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, joint issues, knee replacement. So then I step in to get back to being healthy and get that equilibrium back to their body. So,
talk about your director of nutrition here.
So my director of nutrition is my lovely wife, Pamela. She's a licensed certified nutritionist. She has 20 plus years in industry as well. And she's been my person and my go-to, my ride or die. You know, she's been there with me every step of the way.
Awesome, awesome. And there's also some information on here, and we just want to say this several times throughout the evening about down in that lower left corner. Why don't you tell folks how they can get in touch with you? And I know you got one of your clients, Kim Adams Harris, viewing tonight, who's also one of your people that you really helped transform.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kim has been there. One of my first clients. First time when I started back, I got time into personal training. She was actually one of the first clients. So she's been there from the start of the time.
Right. So 443-837-5237. And tell folks where you're located and your hours and all of that good stuff.
So the most unique thing about us is that mobile. So what we do, we don't have that fixed address. That's what we do to our clients. So we deliver service to our clients via the internet with personal training and nutritional consultations. And we also deliver services to their homes or their workplaces. So many of our clients have been have a full gym in their home or their workspace, and that's in the way we deliver services to our clients.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, look, we got a full interview we're going to dive into. But, Ron, we thought we'd bring you on earlier because normally we don't bring guests on until a little later after we went through socially speaking and things of that nature. But we thought we'd have some fun with you tonight and the audience and dive into socially speaking. So we're going to run into that and talk a little bit about that, Q. So this week, we're going to take a look at the Super Bowl. We're going to take a look at the Super Bowl. In particular, look, the Super Bowl, Kansas City won. We don't even care about that. We just care about the halftime show. That's all we care about. It's talking about the halftime show. So we're going to just start and dive right into that. We're not even going to take a look at the videos about the game. Congratulations, Kansas City, and all that good stuff. But Q, we want to dive right in. So we're going to talk about Usher, and I'm going to start off with you, Q. And when I throw the question out for you, Q, after you finish, anybody can answer. An audience, we definitely appreciate your opinion to find out what you think. But Q, first overall, and get that mic right up close to your mouth if you can. Give us your thoughts on the performance. I'm just talking about the artistic performance and the guests. Cameo appearances that of different people he brought out. What was your thoughts on that whole thing?
Well, just from performance-wise alone, from Usher himself, I thought it was outstanding. He did a great job of mixing as many of his current hits in with past hits, and some of the cameo appearances were excellent. Just great. See Little John and Dwayne Dupree and Keys and so many others who joined him in this celebration Sunday.
Absolutely. Was it anyone? What was the young lady that played the guitar? Her? That's her name?
Her.
Yeah.
She's an incredible artist. Incredible artist.
He is her.
I had the pleasure of watching the game with Arden. Arden and Brother Wallace was over the house with us. And Arden said, Arden, tell us a little bit about her because, man, I was impressed with her guitar abilities, man.
I mean, she's an artist. I mean, like in every sense of the word, she's a thorough guitar player. I mean, she plays the guitar. She's playing that little riff there that you heard. She plays the guitar. Songwriter, performer, artist herself, basically. She's the complete package. She's definitely the complete package. She's that artist that's been rising, but that's on the rise. You're gonna hear a lot from her, for sure.
You're going to hear from her. I hear you. And audience, what's your opinion, your thoughts? When you type them in, we'll throw them on the screen. I want to come to you, Ronnie and Kenny, and ask you the question of what impressed you the most about the halftime show? Or you might go the other direction and say, I wasn't impressed. Start with you, Ron. What do you think, brother?
Oh no, I think one thing about Usher, he is consistent. You got to give it to him. He's a pro, been around for a while. The guy can deliver. You know, he's not an artist that stays. He's an entertainer. You know, he's that he delivers. I think he did a great job, especially because very little time to make a big impression. I don't think he did it.
Indeed.
Impressed me
Completely.
the most about the halftime show. I did catch it. A little, I actually fell asleep. I ain't gonna lie. But his, I'll put it in the group. But the other stars that came out very impressive. And everybody's talking about on Facebook dance between Usher. Come on, they've been forever. You think they didn't rehearse this? It was a
What's
it
that?
was a great performance. I mean, it was just great. So let's stop the hate.
Yeah, I was.
Usher, great show as he always do. He always performed well. He always great show. And he brought in other stars, a big surprise. Great show.
Let me ask you and Ron this, because when you talk about R&B singers, usually hear some of the names, but Usher's not really mentioned, like, in that top three. I mean, it seems like, is he an underrated performer? And, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Because, man, he showed off and showed out.
I'm not gonna say underrated. It's just that it's a new era, and a lot of us on this panel appreciate Usher more than a lot of the younger crowd. Usher is still Usher. He still puts on a great performance, and he's a great performer. So I guess it's a generational thing. You're looking for. I can't even tell you who you're looking for, but Usher puts on a great show for us, the older generation. Yeah, that's what made him so great.
What about you, Ron? As far as where Usher stands in the hierarchy of R&B talent, do you think he's underrated? Should be touted more? Because I was impressed with the number of hits he could just roll out, hit after hit after hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think backing on what Kenny said, I think you look at someone like Usher, who's accomplished in many ways that some of these new artists are. But I think many of these new artists who are getting so much notoriety for social media artists, they're like social influencers when it comes to the industry. They get the clicks, they get the likes, but they don't have the catalog of music to put. And I think that when you look at older artists out there, I think it's taking them to come back to make these youths realize that they need to become more complete in what they do. They need to be part of not just a singer, but a total performer. I think that's honestly why people like Jay-Z bringing these new artists, show these new artists, this is what it takes to deliver a show. You got to time, make a big impact, and deliver, man. When you compare many of the new artists, they don't perform like him.
That's a great point.
And I think
Absolutely great point. Question coming your way, Arden. Arden, can you hear me, brother?
Loud.
People talk about Super Bowl and they talk about ranks, like, somebody said Prince still was my favorite number one all time, and then somebody said Michael Jackson, and on and on. How do you think this performance ranks, or just in your opinion, how did it rank as in comparison to other Super Bowl halftime shows?
You know what? I think it's up there. But you start talking about Super Bowl performance, Michael Jackson, you had Prince, and you had, some artists that he even looked up to. I think it was super incredible performance. One thing I don't think people know is that this year he negotiated 2 extra minutes to try stuff in. This was the longest halftime performance in Super Bowl history, and a lot of people weren't. That's why he was able to fit maybe one or two artists on that would have made it if it was the regular 13-minute segment. It was a 15 minutes that seemed like it was 5 because it was that impactful after artist. And, to echo, he's a phenomenal performer. Now, I do want to say, as far as the artist and being underrated, he's definitely underrated by far. Yeah, he's on some songs right now, and it had been out for the last couple of years, but because other people's songs. Uh, the guy is from day one. One thing you can always say, he's been in the business years, and he doesn't have that up and down as far as being ready to perform. He's generally ready to perform. He might have to shape to perform because it's rough to sing and dance for 2 hours. Most people can't punch a bag for 15, without looking at you like, oh hell no. Or don't say 3 minutes. Bottom line, to be able to do that at that level for that long, just consistent, like Ron said, is with discipline.
Yeah, it's somebody. How old is he now? Because I heard see some comments say he's been in the business. He's 14, 16. So what is he like 40 or something like that now?
Yeah, right around there.
He's got to be
Early
early
mid-40s.
So he didn't had a 20. He's been in the business 20, 25 years in it. That's what you guys are saying?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a hell of a run though to show that consistency. Ron and PA, I want to ask y'all both this. When he took his shirt off, brother was in shape, man. What he been doing? What's up, Ron? Talk to him. How the brother look like that?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, Usher is working, man. That's a good point because when you look at someone here, down to the physique, this guy's prepared. Many people come up there and they got the song, they got the music, they got the dance, they got the clothes, but everything's just not quite health-wise. When you get Usher, man, from yeah, he's good.
Yeah, exactly.
P, I want to ask you about the controversy. Somebody always got to say something negative about something. But I think people was just trying to read into a little bit about the controversy that came out. And Q brought this to my attention the day afterwards. That him and Alicia Keys was a little too, closey there in some moments. And as her husband switched beats, might not have liked that. Did you hear anything about that, or what's your thoughts about that? I know we touched that briefly just now, but what's your thoughts?
Well, I think that, it's a show, people will read into it whatever they want to read it and see it however they want. But it's a show. I mean, it's just like an actor. If he's having a intimate scene, going, do you really believe it's real, or is they're acting? And they're acting. And so it's not real. It's just what they have. And that the song called for that. So I don't have an issue with it, but I have something to say. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They did an awesome job. Look at his body. You can see, Ron and I both can see my body. He's been doing this for a while, so he's been taking care of it. And that's how you create longevity in everything that you do. You don't take everything takes maintenance.
Vonda,
if things go
no doubt. Vonda said he has to deal with Las Vegas for a year. He's doing an amazing job. You asked me, dedicate, also perform and dance with Michael Jackson. So that's where he got some of the moves. I mean, they all study Michael, though, All right, well, look, we're going to move on because we want to get to our guest and really dive into some questions with him. So we're going to keep it rolling, keep it rocking. Great job, Usher, though.
Definitely. Mello said that her husband didn't have no problem with it. Yes, sir.
You're age 40, which means now that you
Oh, we on the wrong video. We're on the wrong video, so we're going to go straight into our questioning.
That's right.
So, Kenny, it's on you. Your questions for Ron, brother.
Okay, brother. Hit me with it.
Bang.
Right. Oh, that's a good question. Ronnie, let's begin with your early years growing up in Annapolis. In the old neighborhood, Newtown 19, give us memories from that, because I remember some of that.
Dude, wow, man.
Yeah, wow.
That's definitely old.
That real crazy, man. I mean, that was deep. I would say whatever most about that time, being at Newtown 19, is, God, being in elementary, and being in kindergarten.
Yeah. Yes. Germantown, right?
Yeah. I was at Germantown.
Yeah.
That little kid who just, cried up the bus came because I didn't want to leave my mother. That was a past that I had really come so far from that.
Man, that was the day, bro.
Oh my God, man! Wow,
My next
we
question
have
is: do you feel that growing up in that era, had a profound impact on your overall personal development when compared to the complexities kids are facing growing up today in today's world?
yes, absolutely. Much hands on. I think that era was. If you wanted to do something, play football, you wanted to play basketball, you were in the street basketball or football every day. I think it honed us coming up because we have more physical attributes than some of the kids today. We play football out in the street, tackled on the ground,
On the
pads
street,
on.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. We played until the lights came on. And then all of a sudden, if we were losing and the lights come on, dude, you better give us a chance to come back. We're fighting at the end of the film. It was just, I think it was an era, man. I think more time working on our skills versus being on technology. And I think that's the difference.
Ronnie,
Abs-
you're so correct. That is an era that will be duplicated or replicated, and it's a sad thing. That was a truth of growing up in Annapolis.
That's it.
Hey, Ron, I got a quick follow up to that, or a spin on that I wanted to ask you, because obviously you turned out, great man, um, great values and everything else growing up in that time period that people, we didn't have as many internet toys and all of those type of things. As far as kids today, the complexities, do you think there's just too many distractions for them and they're not? What's your thought on that?
Absolutely. That one thing that I think social media, for one, is a great. I think the problem is our kids get rushed so early that they didn't have the mentally develop to understand how to use it correctly. So I think what's going on is spending more time on social media and looking for likes, for approval, and really haven't developed that self confidence in themselves to understand what it is that they want to do, what skills are. So I think today social media is, I think it's a blessing on one, but I think it's kind of so other end.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. As far
I
as them
also
not,
think
no, go ahead.
I also think it's up to the parents to really, really spend kids and understand how to bring that gift out that kid has, and just really teach them how to become little young adults, older adults, to think somewhere along the line be a balance between social media and more hands-on guidance for the kid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It seems like they, and I don't know if you was about to comment on it. It seems like they're just not developing that well-roundedness, like we did, like you did, and being able to interact with different groups of people, different races, different people of different social backgrounds and financial backgrounds. Were you going to say that? I know somebody was ready to jump in on that.
Let's keep it moving.
No, I was just going to say that we had a lot of time of self-governance. Go out and we organized the games, whether it was whatever season was playing that sport, and we, on our own organize that. So I definitely understand what you're saying as far as being out, being connected. They're not connected. It's a false of, just hitting a like or whatever else. And then the other thing is that parents that were trying to be kids growing up. Parents were, if you was a kid, you was at the kids' table, or you got out the house and the grown people were talking. So it's a big difference in reference to rearing. So I definitely agree with you. Indeed.
Absolutely. And we look, by the way, we still having a couple of technicals, still having a few technicals on this end. So I did want to, Pierre, to dive in with your questions. I'm not able to change the screens right now, but you recall the questions that you had for Ron, talking about his career and how he got started. Did you want to jump into that, P?
Man, I just remember the day when we were with our nutritionist, Pat Sweeney. And I know
Yeah.
Ron and I, had the same nutritionist, and he was a great guy, And man, remember those days? How many calories Todd gave you to eat? You know, you was a eating machine, man.
Oh my
You
God, it
know,
was at one point I was consuming like close to 10,000 calories a
1,000.
day, and
yeah, yeah. I
it was
had it
my
wrong.
excuse, say it
You
again.
said 10,000.
10,000. Yeah, it was
Yes.
for me that was my way of being able to put on muscle at a faster rate without using steroids. So for me, competing with guys who were on steroids going to the national level, I knew I had to figure out another way to my game up and create greater development. And it's my way of trying to keep up an even playing field with these guys.
Yeah. And Todd, his famous words was, "In order to beat the man, you gotta out eat the man."
What was that again, Pierre? What was that?
In order to beat the man, you have to out eat the man.
Really? Wow. That's the thing in bodybuilding.
That's what it is. If you want to beat him, you gotta out eat him. If you ain't eating him, if you not eating, he gonna beat you.
Wow.
Simple as
Wow.
Yeah, you
Pretty
got to work
amazing.
with that
that.
eating too. Thing.
You gotta remember seeing Ron coming one time walking around with a large cooler filled with food.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I was all in, man. I was all in.
Yep.
I was all about it. Whatever I knew I had to do to step me from the crowd, I was going to do it.
Yep.
But my mission was to be able to do it and navigate this whole bodybuilding career and be healthy as possible. So I knew
Yeah.
that in eating, I didn't rely on bulking with empty calories. I didn't rely on fast food. All year my food was always measured out. I was in the register, and I just really molded everything that went into my body. So it allowed me to get as far as I did without having to take steroids, and it allowed me to exit the sport without many of the injuries that many of my fellow competitors are now going through. It
Yeah.
worked for me.
Wow.
Well, it really shows, man.
As far as that was the junior nationals. I got fourth in the junior nationals, but you went to the nationals, and man, you were my hero, man. 'Cause I was like, you can do it, man. You can make it.
And it was, it was one of those things here where my brother and I, Pete, we put together a plan. And we said we're going to take 5 years. We'll get it far. We'll take 5 years and we'll get into the two shows. We're going to only compete and get us to where we need to be. So we said we had to win the American qualified. A week later, we went to the Junior USA second day. Took a year off to get ready for it. Came back there and got fourth there. And then took another 2 years to hang into the sport, winning the Delaware State Championship. And then I gave myself years. Into the 5 year run, I said, man, I'm done. And my sponsor was nutrition. And they said, Ron, you're the favorite coming into the national year. You got two other guys who already left. We want you to come back to the national. I was like, I'm done. I was like, in my 5 year run, I left nothing on the table. I accomplished what I accomplished. For me to take what I've on stage, off stage, into a business and start a business and work towards having my private label machine. That was it, man. And here I am now.
Well, speaking of it, Ron, I know my brother Quaven has some questions about your passion for healthy eating and how you morphed that into a business. Q, why don't you start with that?
Exactly, Ron. You kind of led right into where I wanted to go with this. And just how exactly did that passion for a healthy lifestyle, healthy living, and a healthy lifestyle, how did that morph into helping others? How did that morph into helping other people in the form of mobile fit training? Tell me how transition kind of took place. First of all, if we could just break down that, if you would.
I think for me, my passion came. I was playing team sports, And it got to the point where I got kind of frustrated with playing team sports because that was changing. It got to the point where we basically played, we started, and whoever the hardest was going to get the game and play. And then it got to the point where with these sports, they would say, you know what, we got to pull guys out because the parents are complaining that their kids are not getting in. And that just totally just made it seem like it was something where I felt like if I work hard, I should get a chance to perform. And it led to another movement out of that. I got into powerlifting. From that point, man, when I got into powerlifting, man, it was competing against whoever was there. I was responsible for the outcome I was going to have. Didn't deliver, I wasn't going to. If I didn't take part, I wasn't going to. You know, and I think that mentality working in the organization of people who are with a purpose, in their, you know, they're relentless about what their goals are on a daily basis. And that just really honed me as having to go, constantly having to go to work toward. And then as I ventured into personal training, that's when I realized I was teaching myself. I could teach the clients who were already very focused, but they were more careers. You know, they reached the pinnacle of their careers. At the same time, they compromised their health in the process. You know, so that's where I introduced myself into my life and try to live a well-rounded life with their career too.
So Ron, a part of as you explain to us how exactly how you kind of model your workout routine for each individual as you take on individuals as clients. How you model and kind of have a routine for each individual. 'Cause I know you don't have a cookie cutter approach to it, but you model and have your approach for each individual. Explain how you do that, if you would.
I mean, that's easy. It starts with the assessment of that individual client. And I think once you go through a battery of assessments to really gauge more on what their health history is, that basically gives us the answer in the direction of which way we're going to apply and which selection style workouts, how we're going to work out, how much cardio, how intense the cardio will be, what supplements if they had gaps in their nutrition. I think the easiest way to put somebody, they listen to what they're going through, and they can give you the answer. They already know what the answer is. We're just talking about how to address the problems that we have. From that point, we call their blueprint, design that based on the information that we gather from their health and fitness assessment.
That is awesome. That includes, I would assume, that includes their diet, nutrition, and everything else. And you're just trying to hone what their goals is and building something around their goals and objectives.
Yes. So basically, for example, if you came in, the initial thing will look you you're doing assessment, and we have you do your body fat.
Yes.
You know, so what I teach new customers and new and current clients is that it's not about the weight overall. It's what your body weight is made of. How much self-contained fat, visceral fat, how much muscle. And those are the areas that we gauge to build a nutrition program. So from that point, we can tell how many grams of protein that person, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat. You know, that's the easiest way to test the client in which direction you need to go with them.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Arden, I think you were next up with a couple of questions. And just if you speak up a little louder, because I'm unable to turn you up, if you can just kind of lean in a little.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Ron, in your experience with clients, what are some of the most common hurdles people have improving their health and adapting to the Pro-Fit program?
I would say looking for something that is a quick fix. Many clients come into us initially, and they may have worked with another trainer or nutritionist that different approach. more of a cookie cutter, well-rounded approach. But when they come to us, we will break that down. We will say, let's start from scratch. Chances are, if they're coming to me here, and what you're doing is not working the way you want, resistant. If you're doing this and it's not working, let's go back and do the so the hardest thing for many is you have to eat a little bit more to become the version of yourself which you want to be.
Could you say that again? Say that last line again.
So you have to eat a bit more many times to become a better version of yourself.
Wow.
That means you'll find many people who think, yes, I'll get lean. And it's the opposite because your body gets to the point where you're eating, body will, your whole metabolic process, digestion is slow down, everything was slow. So at that point, you're going to start using it into a muscle as an energy source and fuel your body. At that point, your body is not looking for fat, stored sugar, glucose. It's looking for something like muscle, which is readily available. So a person who's trying to get a lean physique or who's trying to increase muscle, that would be one of the hardest times coming to us when we teach you. You have to actually find volume of food to get the result you're after.
That
Wow.
leads us right into the next question. Um, Tell us more about the line of supplement product you've developed and to assist your to achieve those goals. Um, and where can folks get them from also? But we can definitely jump right into how they can get everything else. But kind of let me know how you came up with them and what triggered you wanting to get into that field.
Well, it was interesting because for me, I've always taken vitamins and minerals. I always felt that they're a service in helping me develop, helping me with my digestion, and just overall a well-rounded nutritional supplement that will support my goals at the time and still. As far as starting my own product line, because many of the lines I was working with, many ingredients in there that just didn't work well for my body. And then you found that many were every time you ordered a product, they were on stock. So for me, I wanted two things. I was willing to use and something that worked for me. I wanted something that I could trust my clients. Giving ingredients, minerals, stimulants that work what I'm trying to help them to address. And just well-rounded programs. Many of our clients, when they come to the supplement protocol, they will go to a store product. They get into the store managers will send them what they need, or try to upsell them on products or ingredients that may interact with the medication. So for me, I felt it was kind of a flaw in my program because I said, if I'm working with these individuals, I need to put them the same as possible and make sure I'm not sending them somewhere someone's going to give them something that's going to totally work against what they're trying to you know, from there, that's why I thought having a line would be something I could to my clients and myself.
Well, I
Wow.
salute you in that
Wow.
regard because, for one, a lot of people aren't aware, like you are, that some things it reads those things that say they're in there, but there's been numerous tests in certain counter nutritional products that don't have what they say they have in them. So it's extremely
That's right.
important for somebody to be able to come to you and you do your and best of all, you've tested it on yourself. And like I said, if y'all want to get those guns you saw beforehand and those muscle
Yeah.
you better holler at ProFit right now. Get profit.com right now. Schedule something right now. Right now. So I just want to salute you, man. I saw you coming up. You came up
Yes.
at the same time, and you were somebody else I knew at the time that was training and operating on a that level from Annapolis, and man. And I've been a fan of since you've been a teenager. So
Oh, man.
I appreciate you coming up. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Liddy, do I have time for a question?
Yes, go ahead, bro. Go right ahead. And PA, I want to ask a follow up that you might offer that last answer that Ron gave. But go ahead,
Okay.
Kenny.
Ryan, this has been something I wanted to ask you. First of all, since I know you've been coming on the show, but we're going to talk. We were talking about nutrition. We're going to talk about cheat days, and here's where my question derives from. Back in 2011, 2012, I was in Florida, and I had a guy that worked for me. He had to be his late 40s. He was on the circuit. He was a professional rip. I actually showed him your picture back then. I got him from age, and I got something to eat. And he was ripped. And you want to talk about nutrition? He would tell me he would eat Whoppers with 2 for $5 or 2 for $7, whatever, the hot wings and all that. And this would be a month out from a competition. I even shared this with Pete about it. I want to know, what are your cheat days? And because this guy, he still came in second place, but I sit and watch him eat Whoppers. Not every day. Does that come from your body being trained? You can eat a Whopper or two every day.
It's it's two factors. You got a genetic factor. You can just digest very well.
Yes.
You
Metabolism.
can eat cake, and if their body produces necessary digestive enzymes to break those foods down, they can get by all the time, and it will go very well for them.
All the time.
The flaw for
Bro,
me was
if you saw him before his competition, this would be like weeks before his competition, and in his house, watching him eat 2 Whoppers. So
yeah.
I can't just eat 2 Whoppers. I'm 300 pounds.
I tell you, the flaw for me was genetically I can't digest dairy and wheat and yeast at all. So
Because you've
that's
been
the
so
reason
long.
why
Yeah.
my nutrition stayed pretty good all year. Worry about trying to factor in what they call the cheat meal because I couldn't eat it. It would upset my stomach. It would just bloat me out.
Right.
It just didn't go at all. You know,
You just can't do it.
genetically forced to stay on an eating keto all year long with clean food.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up because I know a lot of our viewers struggle with the same thing I do from time to time. I've gotten a lot better, but to watch this guy, and man, Ronnie, he was, and to watch him eat things and a pan pizza, it just was a lot to digest. I just wanted you to share your thoughts on that.
I wasn't that monster there. I couldn't do it.
I think Pete did the same thing. Yep.
So Q, I do apologize that we have some technical issues with the screens, and we'll look into that for future shows. But talking about what we call the lightning round is something that we usually do to ask each guest that's coming on. So Q, why don't you take some of that?
Yes. Yeah, and Ron, we apologize. Tonight's not gone as we would like for it to have gone, but we've had to kind of soldier our way through, and we'll make up in the future. I believe that we definitely will. But we do what we call the lightning round. In that lightning round, kind of look at things from a different perspective. I mean, we're going to talk about some old school. Now, we touched on Newtown 90. We grew up in old neighborhoods, Newtown, Annapolis Garden, Corny, and so forth. So, just comment on what you thought was some of the best neighborhoods in the area.
Oh man, absolutely. Bywater, definitely.
Damn.
That was it, man. And then if there was ever a HBO in me, man, that was it. That was Bywater was it. I would say definitely Bywater 20, Annapolis Garden. And I say all those communities because when we played football, we were battling those guys. A lot of the Crusaders, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I would definitely say Bywater, 20, definitely.
AG.
All right. Yes, sir. And that was Garden. Okay, so yeah. Okay, another question would be, what would be your top choice for dinner for if you had to pick, only can pick one. Merlin crab, wahoo steak, grilled chicken, salmon, or why and why?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I'm boring when it comes to eating. I would say the grilled chicken, sweet potato, baked sweet potato, green bean. Man, I'm all about that. That
Clean, that's
that would
clean,
be.
but it's not really enjoyed.
Bean.
Yeah.
Ron, do you eat much fried food, or is that something that you stay away from because of your conditioning?
I stay away from it only because I never like once I started getting into health and fitness, I didn't really consume that food at all. Growing up, I did. Man, growing up, I consumed from Captain Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, all that. I was this guy coming up, so I consumed all of that, man. Once I got into the sport and started training, I just made that change. And then once I realized I made that change and getting back to eating those foods, I realized all the problems it was causing. So it wasn't a thing where I said I couldn't eat those foods because I don't like them anymore. It was just I don't like the way it makes me feel after eating them. So it helps me not to consume those foods today.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Hey, I have a question for you in this lightning round. And Pierre, I want you to jump in on this as well. Man, there's many great, and I mean absolutely fantastic, great bodybuilders down through history. And I want you and Pierre to go back and forth on like what would be some like your top three. I mean, you got Lee Haney. I mean, Arnold. Arnold was one of the pioneers back in the day when you start talking about modern day bodybuilding. Who are like two or three of your top picks and why would you choose some of those folks?
And Pierre, we want your input as well.
You going first, Pierre?
Go ahead. We probably thinking about the same person, the same people.
You want me to go or you want to go?
Yeah. Go ahead, Ronnie.
I would say definitely Lee Haney. I would say Flex Wheeler, and I would say Sean Ray.
Okay. I definitely had Sean Ray, Lee Haney in there, but I also put my friend in there, Kevin Leroney, because he's straight from Maryland, and he went all the way to two, in the Olympia, and it was politics. He didn't win, so I held him high because he won more titles than any other bodybuilder on the planet. He never got Olympia. So he's kind of like unsung. So I always looked upon him as a hero, and I traveled with him to Prime Day and Lee Priest and Lee Haney, all those guys.
That was my follow up. That was my follow up for both of y'all. Did you ever cross paths with them, and did you pick up anything from them in your talks or your travels?
Oh, I definitely Lee Haney. Definitely had him before. I met him well before I started competing. And the reason inspired me was because I think he had a more well-rounded approach to the sport. He kind of balanced personal life. Religion was heavy for him. Just being focused on the goal, keeping the main goal the main goal. And for him to be able to do that back then in Olympia as many times as he did, it was phenomenal, especially the time where black bodybuilders wasn't getting on top and winning that title. So that he made an incredible impact on me with that. Then you had Sean Ray, who came through, and he was very well rounded with preach. He came out there, he was groomed real well. He wasn't the biggest. He was one of the most symmetrical, but he realized that for me to beat these guys, I don't need to distort my physique. I need to create a bracket and present it in a
Okay.
way.
Wow.
Then when you look at Flex Wheeler, he came through and put it together. He had the physique, he had the structure, he had the presentation. The only thing about him is that he came in a time where the era was where they went back to the mass monsters. And that's when Dorian came in.
Yeah, Dorian and
You
all of
know,
them, right? Uh-huh.
and finally, when you look at Kevin, man, Kevin, you know, Kevin is like a brother to me. You know, so those guys, basically, I saw those guys before Kevin, so they planted the seed for me. When I met Kevin, we were coming through at the time. You know, so those guys were the ones who allowed me to focus in on what it took to get to where I'd be. Kevin, on the other hand, he was the person I could call and say, "Hey, Kev, I'm getting ready for the show. I need to get a little tighter, or what can I do to develop a little more?" Was that person for me? So I kind of look at the brother. You know, I look
That's
at those
awesome.
guys as guys who basically opened the door to the sport for me, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. If it wasn't for them, they were pioneers. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't have been you or Pierre.
It would have been me or Kevin
Exactly,
or P.
exactly. Uh, I just wanted to say one thing to Ronnie. Because of you and your brother, I have legs. Because I remember I was, and I wanted to get my legs up, and you and your brother said, "Well, how many days are you training your legs?" And I said, "Well, I'm training 2 or 3 times a week. I'm trying to get my legs up." And they said, "You probably over just train them 1 time a week and kill them." And like, huh, 1 time a week? I was scratching my head, and then I followed what they said, and then my legs finally started growing.
Wow, amazing, amazing.
So,
Hey, well,
Ron, if I
look,
could bring up one of the name I didn't hear mentioned tonight, but some guy who went down through the history, he had his struggles as well. How about think about Ronnie Coleman, if you could, Mr. Ronnie Coleman.
Oh,
Ronnie,
shoot. Beast.
I think Ronnie
Beast.
Coleman was probably the most genetically blessed boxer to ever be in the sport. I think that
Wow.
Ronnie Coleman was he bought into the culture that they were trying to create for him, which distorted his body. And for Ronnie Coleman, he thought more was better, get bigger. He was always the biggest guy up there. Like if I get bigger, I will be better. And even at 3 pounds, he felt that he had to be 330 pounds to beat the guys that he's beating for the last 7 years. And I would say, with regards to Ronnie, is that he lost control of what he had. If that makes sense, he basically had everything he needed in the Olympia as many times as, but he bought a hype that people who have never won the title before, many who never did before, they would tell him, "You have to be bigger, harder." And this guy basically destroyed himself in the process.
yeah, he did, and it's a very sad story because he was such a great competitor before
Yeah.
I mean,
went too far. Went too far. Yeah.
that's the
There's
thing
there's
about
a
Lee
great
Haney
documentary
is
on
that
him.
although Lee Haney was big, he always focused back on saying, "I will not do anything to my symmetry and structure," because he knew he was a very strong individual where he knew why I'm beating these guys. I'm gonna face me and distort their bodies trying to catch up with me trying to distort my bodies to beat them. In control, and that's why he was probably ultimately the best bodybuilder to ever be in the sport, I think.
Wow. Hey, well, look, Ron, I do want to say this, as we go to closing out. First, and to the audience, apologies for technical issues from the studio or from the platform. Didn't do Ron justice as much as that we wanted to bring in depthness of what we wanted to bring. So we're certainly going to have you back. One of our guests already said, "Could you have him back very soon?" So we will do that. But just closing thoughts on any subject matter, the sport in general, and any help for people that really look to people like yourselves, because nutrition and dieting and food and everything else and exercise is something we've never really taught well. It's always fallacies to it. What could you leave people with to really kind of steer them in the right direction?
I would say take the time to sit with someone who can help you identify what your goals are. Find out exactly where you're starting, where you want to go, and what it would take to get there, and really develop a assessment or a plan that is specific to your needs. I think far too many times it's easy to go on the internet and look for the free program or the program that may be $20 for a 12-week program here or there, which they do serve a purpose. But I think that depending on where you're starting from, your health and whatever you're working through, man, don't underestimate the initial assessment. Let someone sit down and understand what's going on internally with you, what your goals are, and man, go with a plan that's going to be specific to your needs. And I think if you do that, man, it opens the door, the process more like this versus up and down that.
Amen.
Amen. Any closing thought, Pierre?
Yeah, me, I'm always going to be, honest and, straightforward about it, especially when it comes to nutrition. You know, I'm just one that just listen to your body. And just give me real food, just food that gives you energy. You know, only way that Ron could get to where he got to was he paid attention to what he was putting in his body to build the body and to hold on to the muscle. All I'm saying is your body is giving you real, just eat real food. Stay away from the processed stuff. Nowadays, it's so everything is all you might as well eat the good stuff. I was going to go get some things if you can, because you're gonna get the most out of it. So feed your body real food and watch as you recover. This is how you feel. You guys, it's been 5 months for me, and you know what I've been through. I just had a
Yes.
follow up visit to the doctor today. My bones are 100% healed, and I broke down on
Oh
my left
wow.
side.
Wow. Praise God for that, boy. Progress report on that one.
Amen, brother.
It's nutrition, family.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Well, look, Q, we want to thank Ron for joining us tonight, taking up your time.
Absolutely.
Ron, Q is going to reach out to you as a follow up, and just want to thank you for joining us tonight, and thank the audience for struggling through with us tonight. It was one of those nights, but God said life wouldn't be easy and it wouldn't be fair all the time. But it's what you
Yes.
do with it, and what you do with what you have to make the most out
Made
of
it
is
work.
what truly counts, and that's what I believe.
That's the
Well, Ron,
process.
we're
I
going to clean
agree.
this up for the future. We're going to have you back.
Yes.
And because we have so much more to the story that we can add to. And we appreciate you hanging in there. And Art, Lanny, and myself, and Pierre, and Kenny, we want to have you by the time. But we appreciate you, brother, for being a trooper tonight.
So much. Thank you for your
Hey,
time, brother.
definitely. Hey guys,
Thanks for having
real
guys.
quick,
Enjoying
I want
everybody.
everybody. I want everybody to check Pro-Fit. Hit profit.com. If you're looking to check yourself right now,
Yes.
springtime.
Yes.
Don't wait till spring things straight. In the winter, when everything is dark, that's when you do your shines and the light so bright that it's out of sight, baby. Tell you, Ron, one thing, and I'm out of here, is I want to salute you, man. You were in an industry that allowed people to do all kinds of things to their body to manipulate everything, which was going to trash them in later on in their life. But you stayed natural and stand beside people using all kinds of things to try to make them look better. And you stood them in health, in training, in discipline, spirituality, in being a good person, and being up age and still winning. Man, I definitely salute you,
Yes.
man. A lot of people don't know
Appreciate
what
it.
that takes.
Yes.
You do, and I appreciate you for it. And that's why
Appreciate
people
it.
need to go see
Man,
you because for somebody
appreciate
like
it.
phenomenal, phenomenal.
And thank you guys. I know you guys got to wrap up. But you guys, man, platform that you guys have, man, keep doing it, keep pushing it. It makes a difference in the community. I think it's more voices like this, different individuals, different perspectives that captures more ears. And I haven't been on the show before, but I follow the show every year. So definitely salute you guys. Everything you're doing, what you continue to do. Keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Man.
All
Thank
right,
you.